And Bruce is offline right now. Gotta love that California internet. Just like the California electric and power.
Uh,
And just like the California.
Daily weather view.
Oh, there we go. Now
Yeah,
you're back. Okay, your phone went out there for a second, so I was just filling dead air talking about the glories of California with the great internet.
well, hopefully we don't get dropped because I was on. I
Huh?
bet you we get dropped. I bet you we get dropped now.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, well, I was talking about how the California
Yeah.
internet's the best, and the electric is the best, and the firefighting is the
Oh hell
best.
no. Oh hell no.
Yo, you know what
That
the
never happens out here, man.
dude? You know what the craziest thing that I saw like about a year ago or so? California was dealing with that drought. They're like, people, we need to have a pipeline from the Mississippi River out here so that we can have water. And I'm like, you know that you have the access to the largest body of water on the planet right next to you, right? Like all you gotta do is desalinate it, and now you got salt to power other shit. Like, come on, man. Like I thought y'all were smart ones.
We're gonna kill the whales.
You're not gonna kill the whales. No, it's not. You're not gonna use that much water, and then you take that salt, and then you use it for all kinds of other shit. Like you can like, don't they have something where you can use salt for electricity? Um, I know you can.
I'm not sure about that, but I do know this is that desalination has become so inexpensive now that is almost ridiculous to not do it.
Oh yeah.
However, however, the fact remains is this is that most of our water that we have here in California flows right back out into the sea, and trillions and trillions and trillions of gallons of water just go back, to the sea, which is cool because that's the way nature intended it to. Correct, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's put that in perspective. Uh, but we haven't we've we haven't bolstered our capacity for retaining water in years. In fact, we're destroying our capacity because of the fact that up north they want to preserve the salmon streams, which is fine. But they stopped once they got to San Francisco, so they don't give a shit about anything lower than San Francisco, and those places just run back down to the sea. Now that said, we now have a homeless population that inhabits our rivers and creeks and stuff like that. What they're doing is they're taking the shopping carts and they're putting them in the middle of the creek and trapping the spawning salmon and the steelhead.
That's awesome.
So they're decimating. Yeah, so they're decimating the population of steelhead and salmon that come up the river. So it's a lose lose situation for anybody woke that lives in California that actually trying to do something, about it, because actually the woke people are the ones that are actually trying to save the water and stuff like that. However, it's a shit show out here. It really is.
Yeah,
It's a shit
but you
show.
gotta think about it though. The homeless people are the pride and joy of the real rulers of not only the country but the world, because they want
Oh yeah,
everybody to have nothing and be happy, and the homeless people have nothing and they're happy. So that's what they want. They want people to go back to that kind of a lifestyle where they're just living in shanties, and they get they get doled out some money to shop at the company store, and then that's it. It's it's going to be interesting because once once technology fully takes over with AI and automation and stuff like that, a lot of people are like, oh, we're going to be able to work on our passion and stuff like that, and it's like, no, that's going to give them more of a reason to talk about overpopulation. It's going to give them more of a reason to do all kinds of different things, because now they're going to have the excuse of, oh, well, consumption is higher than it ever has been. Oh, this, like, all the litany of excuses to crack down, and then the body positivity thing. Like, I made a post on my Facebook yesterday. Since the body positivity movement was so strong, why didn't Lizzo have an OnlyFans account? But the body positivity movement is going to get completely destroyed um, by this new revolution because they're going to be like, oh, you're consuming too much. It's not good for the earth. We need to cut it down to where you only get 1,000 calories a day. And then all these fat people are going to be like, but I thought fat was beautiful. And they're like, no, it is beautiful as long as you have it within 1,000 calories a day.
That is true. I mean, there's nothing worse than what the WEF has done to this world. I'm going to say this country because we have our own problems in this country, but the WEF definitely talks about policy that they want to institute, and most of those people, the world leaders and high shakers and the elites and everything, when they go there, they bring back all that crap that they talk about. They try to actually implement it, and it's disgusting what they're doing, man. And
Right. Well, I mean, but the
I
thing
can't.
is, though, is that it goes back way further than the WEF. The WEF is just a new
Oh yeah,
version of the same name. First, if we just go back a little over 100 years, about 150 years, you go back 150 years, right? First, it was the eugenics movement, and then that turned into Nazism, and then that got deemed bad for some reason because the first they loved what Hitler was doing, and then they're like, oh, no, 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 now public opinion is not there anymore. And um then they had to change it to the UN and the WHO and stuff like that. What's really funny is
yeah,
that, like, you know Hitler wanted so Hitler got put in power by the fake British monarchy, and I say fake British because they're not actually from Great Britain, and their bloodline's not. It's Transylvanian, back to Vlad the Impaler, and but they put Hitler in power to run the world government and stuff like that, and then also to kind of be a fall guy. And what's really hilarious is that you look at all his plans. Well, his plans, were for Germany to be the central, Germany and Europe to be like the central point of the world government, and he wanted to spread out beyond there. Well, then after they knocked him off, what came in that place? Well, Germany had some austerity and shit like that for a little bit afterwards, with the Berlin Wall and all that fun shit. But now you look at it, Germany is where, the World Bank is and where the IMF is. I mean, and then you have, Switzerland and stuff like that with Davos and everything like that. The world government, and then the thing is like all the world government stuff is still in the same place where he was launching his supposedly his empire. But in reality, you look at it, all of his he was the fall guy in the mafia, and all of his top henchmen and their kids are running everything now. You got Klaus Schwab, you got fucking, you got, I can't think off the top of my head now, but Klaus Schwab is one of the big ones. You got that, what's that guy's name? Younger? It's Junger, but it's pronounced
yeah,
Younger.
yeah,
There's a lot
yeah.
of people like that are just over there, and that's where everything's ran out of, which is hilarious. People are like, we defeated Nazism. It's like, nah, they just had a fall guy, and now they're going through and they're doing a different plan a little bit.
Well, they always have a fall guy, and they always have an agenda. And the fact of the matter is that history repeats itself because we never learn.
No.
And the generations upon generations of children that have passed on, we have not passed on that history.
Right.
In fact, we have thrown that history out, and now we're at least if not one, maybe two generations into kids weren't getting the history that it was actually done. I mean, now history might have been skewed in our schools as far as not exactly telling the truth here and
Oh
there,
yeah.
but nonetheless, 90% of the history has been accurate, depending on who was the academic that was teaching the history and such. So, yeah, you've got a great point there as far as what was going on there.
Yeah.
And it's just sad that that we just keep pointing ourselves in that way. We're going to go back and we're going to do it all over again. Just like Steely Dan, you go back, Jack, and do it again. Wheels spinning round and round, and you know
Yeah, that's definitely true.
we're
We're
we're in
gonna
this
we're gonna
vicious
keep doing
turnstile.
it over and over.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because generation upon generation just wants to obliterate and forget about where they came from. But when you forget about where you came from, you forget about all the atrocities and stuff that you committed. And all you do is kind of like try to celebrate the good that you did, and you can't do the good that you did without reminiscing back to the evil that brought it on and things like that. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. Ken, how you doing this morning,
Oh,
brother?
not bad, not bad. You know, you mentioned Steely Dan. Fun fact about that. You know how they're related to El Caminos. You know the car truck thing, the El
No.
Camino. Chicks hate both of them. So Steely Dan is the El Camino of music.
Well, there's that then.
You know that has a lot to do with what we're talking about. You're
And there's
you're
that fact. And there's that fact.
the it actually goes back what Chris was talking about. You know, the 150 years you're talking about. It starts to Marxism. If you read the Communist Manifesto that was written, what, 1840, 1850, I can't remember around there, it lays the groundwork for all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
And the government control and the progressive era, whenever I go to Mount Rushmore and see Teddy Roosevelt up there, I just want to chisel him off and put Calvin Coolidge up. Because Calvin Coolidge was able to turn around a lot of this stuff. I mean, you look at these people that were the progressives that are celebrated in our country. It's really when it started, because in the early teens and early 20s when they started changing the textbooks. And so, Bruce, you didn't get the education of what really was happening. And if you go back,
Oh,
if you go
absolutely.
back and look at the 1850s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 1900s, look at an eighth grade textbook there. It's like college level compared to
Hmm.
now. And they've with eugenics and the progressive era, progressive movement. The walk softly but carry a big stick idea. Um, it
I think we were all. I think we were all subject of revisionist history of some
I know
sort.
I was growing up in
Um,
Boston. Are you kidding
it,
me?
it's
in the
yeah.
in the Kennedy era.
Yeah. It's just to what degree did we have to suffer from it? I think I think I got a lot more than what the kids are getting today, as
Yeah,
far as
exactly.
the revisionist history that they're not getting today. In fact, there's not a lot of teaching going on in school at all. I mean, now it's about teaching you how to obey and control and be controlled and stuff like
Exactly.
Well,
that.
I'll give you an
that's what
Uh,
public school was designed to do. I can't
yeah,
remember where it's
yeah.
taken from. It's taken from somewhere over in Europe. Um, it starts with an L. What's the name of that fucking place? Oh, P
Lithuania.
maybe. Huh?
Lithuania.
Uh,
No. Fuck, where was that place? Oh, there was somebody doing.
look it up. Somebody look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll give you a
Yeah.
minute.
Go ahead.
But no, as far as the revisionist history is concerned, yeah, I see it. I saw it when my daughter was going to high school. I'm just going like that. Now, aren't they teaching you about this? They go like, huh? And we're like, wait a minute, you know. And history was her greatest subject,
Yep.
and she starts talking about history. I'm like, no, 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 no.
That's not what happened.
That's not what
Well,
happened. Let me tell you what happened
speaking of
when I went to
revisionist
school.
history, Google has it set back to Horace Mann in the fucking 1600s, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what happened in the 1800s when they brought in motherfucker.
Not talking about Thomas Mann and Field of Dreams, are
No, no, no. Talking about
you?
1635
No, I'm
Horace
kidding.
Mann, but yeah, no, not.
Uh, yeah, in any case, our schooling is really based upon that fact of controlling, teaching our kids to obey and not shake authority, and yeah, very much set up that way.
It's interesting.
So
It's
that's why
interesting
you need to keep
because
your.
it's and I'm going to use the term boomer just for not lack of a better term, but it's the boomer in the greatest generation that raised the teachers that are
Yep,
teaching this stuff. That were the generate that raised the
yep,
Generation Xers that are teaching this stuff,
yep,
and it
yep,
it's funny how it turned around 180 degrees, which is normal because usually when especially if someone's lying and yelling at you, complaining about something, it's probably something that they're doing themselves, and that's why they're so vitriolic about it when they see you doing it, even if you're not doing it. and that's what we're seeing in the political sphere right now. I mean, you look at the people on each side yelling at each other. Don't even look at the people yelling across the aisle. That of course makes a little more sense, but they
Well,
they're all
let's look at the
they're all playing between the 40-yard lines. So it's
yeah. Well, I mean, let's look at the bastion of free speech, which was Berkeley, California, where it all happened. Back in back in the summer of love,
yeah.
and the protests, all the anti-war protests, and all that stuff developed. In a great part in California and at Berkeley, and now they are so tight with their freedom of speech that they are now railing against freedom of speech. They say we have too much
hmm
freedom of speech, and that I'm still trying to figure out what a hate crime and hate language is, because um,
it's wholly
they're
made up out of it comes out of someone's ass. That's what hate crime is. It's if I
yeah,
come over and punch you, I came over and punched you. If I punch you and call you whitey, it's not a hate crime. But if you were black and I come over and punched you and called you blackie, it's a hate crime. So it makes the end of the day, the person got punched. It doesn't matter what the reason is.
right,
It's like
okay.
armed robbery with a gun or a knife when no one got hurt. All right,
Yeah, well,
so
and we all
Yeah,
get,
and then
it was an
yeah, and
armed robbery that happened.
we all got assaulted because it came from Prussia. That's where it came from. The public school system came from Prussia.
Prussia. There you
Yeah,
go, Prussia. Yes,
and it was institutionalized in order to usher everybody in from agrarian into manufacturing lifestyle.
correct,
Yeah,
correct,
And see, when we set
correct.
up public schools here in the United States, it was to create a society of people that are educated about the United States, about how it's what the civics of it were, so that it would carry on. And as the industrial revolution went along, it got corrupted because a lot of the factories needed workers, so it started to change. Of okay, here's what you need to know, here's what you need to do, and that's why it dumbed down, because all of a sudden they're like, they don't need to know all this other stuff anymore. They just need to be able to come work when they're 16 or 15 or whatever, get out of school and get to the factories, get
Yeah.
to the cities.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah. Come to work when you're
Yep.
told. Do your classwork when you're
Respect your
told.
elders.
Go eat lunch when you're told. Yeah, go. Yeah, eat your lunch when you're told. Go out and have recreation when you're told.
Interesting.
Come back and have dinner when you're told.
Interesting enough,
And then
that's
yeah,
when the teachings in schools stopped mirroring the teachings in the Bible. So it wasn't that schools were biblical, it's just that the lessons and the ways of teaching had changed. It had gone away from. So as soon as you get into progressivism and eugenics, Ten Commandments go out the window. And I'm not getting all gospel here. I'm just saying, if you've never opened a page in that dirty book, the Bible, that people think it is, if you just read the Ten Commandments, it's not a bad way to go about your life for the most part.
preach it, brother.
So
Hallelujah.
it's like, all right. I mean, even an atheist has the Ten Commandments, and they say, "Oh, you don't need the Bible. You don't need to believe in anybody. You just be good people." I'm like, "That's the Ten Commandments. Where did it come from?
That's your Ten
It
Commandments,
came
dude.
from that, dude. It came from that. So anything else you say, it's going to go over my head. I don't understand your modern ways." But when they started going away from that and teaching away, and also, I mean, you remember before eugenics and stuff all started here in the United States, and a lot of the ideas of population control, controlling people, and all that stuff. The Wilson, Woodrow Wilson was as evil of a human being as Hitler was. I'll say it. He was as bad. And he had a stroke in office, and for the last year and a half his wife was running the country.
yeah,
And these people were racist. He segregated the military because the military was integrated in the turn of the century.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, and he segregated the military, and he set it up. There was a huge depression in 1920, worse, or not depression. It was a huge crash in 1920, worse than the 1929 crash. And what Harding did after Wilson was nothing. He just like, well, we just people need to fail, and it'll pick itself up. And then Harding died, and Coolidge got in there. Coolidge cut spending in the government by 50%. So when they say that you couldn't do that now, yeah, you absolutely could. You just need a guy with a huge set. Vivek was the only one saying that. I mean, he was obviously had no chance, but he was like, I'm going to get rid of the FBI, the Department of Education, the IRS. He just went down the list. I'm like, that's what needs to have happen.
yeah.
And and once you get rid of all those, because it creates a system where people are so afraid. I'm to speak for myself. You're so afraid to do anything because the government's going to come down and take your house, or put you in jail at the point of a gun.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're going to comply. You're just going to comply, and you mentioned something the other day, Chris, in the conversation we were having. It was just take an inch, take an inch, take an inch.
Yeah, it's a
1930,
game of inches. It's a chess game
19,
of inches.
1936, they banned automatic weapons because the gangsters were shooting them. But by 1936, it had pretty much gone away because
Yeah.
prohibition did more because it was, again, no one can drink anymore. Okay, well, actually, you can drink, you just can't buy or sell it. You can have it. So of course the stills went up, all that kind of thing happened. The mob realized, hey, everyone wants to drink, so they made a whole system, a black market system of getting stuff. They paid off officials and all that kind of stuff. It turned into turf wars because, of course, why wouldn't it? And then it gets to the point where they legalize it, and then 4 years later, after that all goes away, that violence, that then they're like, we should ban the guns.
Hmm.
Because and really it was big white, because FDR is sitting there going, what if those guys turn it on us? Because there was starting to be some union problems and stuff because the unions were getting way more powerful in the 30s, and with the depression and stuff, there was riots, there was all kinds of stuff happening that was really shitty, and it's because the unions had outpaced their, they went beyond what they were originally doing, is helping the workers, and they turned into a force that could get people elected. Well, then the people that could get elected started using the unions, and then this turned into a whole thing. That's where you get these union guys that were going door to door to people and say, "You're going to vote for this guy," or they'd beat the shit out of you.
Hmm.
That is fascism, pure and simple fascism. That's what that is. That's what it looks like. And
Looks like Jason McCain has entered the room. How you doing, Jason? This morning?
Doing
yes,
pretty
yes.
good. I fell asleep waiting for you.
Must have been all that bacon that we all consumed last
Yeah,
night.
bacon's
Yeah.
poison, man.
Everybody but Harco's. Harco's doesn't eat
Jesus,
bacon.
It's
Just
just
remember,
poison.
Chris and I fell asleep listening to him. So same thing.
No, that's just poison,
But
man.
bake
it's God's food.
That's why I don't eat
bacon is
I
good.
I don't eat the bacon. I only eat the grease because the poison's in the meat. So I take a straw.
Oh, that's one
Rub
way to
some
do
on.
it, I guess.
Yeah. I rub some on my cheeks. It keeps the acne down.
Bacon is God's food, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's Jesus meat. It's the best stuff ever.
Jesus meat, yeah. It's meat candy. It's just remember, happy people eat bacon, and the other thing is that I refuse to try religion for bacon reasons.
Exactly.
There you go. I won't eat lamb though. That lamb is
The
too
Lamb
good.
of God. Not only is
Yeah.
it a good band, but it also tastes good.
Well, I actually brought that up the other day, or a couple weeks ago before I left the restaurant. I brought that up in there as like a joke, and I kind of pissed somebody off because they're all Muslims, and I was like,
Yeah.
hey, so how is it haram? Like, I agree with you that pork is fucked up, so it's haram to eat pork. I get that, but how is it not haram to kill a baby animal and eat it, like with lamb? Why don't you just let it go to be a sheep and then eat the sheep after it's already reproduced? Wouldn't that stop the reproduction and stuff?
Because it gets stringy and tough and greasy.
Yeah, but no, it's just no, I don't even like veal or lamb. It's like it's fucked up. Like it's like a mental thing. Like I'm not like one of those like I'm not a vegan. It's like, oh, you're killing the animals. It's like, no, if you're gonna kill an animal, kill an animal. But fuck, like, come on, man, let it at least fuck once.
So what is it about pork that disgusts you?
Well, I mean, it's got that bacteria in it, and you gotta fucking that naturally occurs in it. You gotta they bathe it in fucking salt, brine, in order to kill the bacteria in it and stuff like that. And so it has like
Salt
a
makes
high
it
salt
good.
content in there as well too. But then also, I mean, the major Abrahamic religions all ban it for a reason because it's an unclean animal for a lot of different reasons. And then also too, there's another theory as well too that since pigs are so close to human that it's kind of like eating a human. There's that, but then also, like I said, I mean, like they all banned it for a reason. And then
There's
and
a
then
lot
you
of
look at all the
innuendo in
health
there.
issues that come from people with a high pork diet. Like a lot of people have bad health issues. They just eat pork all the time. It's just I don't like it, man. Like it upsets my stomach. So like the next morning I'll be on the toilet for like an hour and a half if I eat pork. And then
So
also too, it just
that's where I'm at with lamb and venison. That's
Uh,
what does it to me.
yeah.
Pork is hot. Pork is hard versus Taco Bell.
Pork is what?
Pork is hard versus Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Well, I don't eat Taco Bell either, but yeah, there's that.
Well, we have a joke around here that Taco Bell, it's just like you might as well eat Taco Bell in the toilet because it comes out that fast. So.
Yeah. No, I saw I gotta find that meme. I saw a meme that had something to do with that the other day. It was pretty funny or whatever. It was oh yeah. It's like they somebody went on Twitter or something like that to Taco Bell's page and said, "Hey Taco Bell, I just want to thank you for the awesome meal last night." And they said, and Taco Bell's like, "Oh yeah, what'd you get?" And they said diarrhea.
And there we go again. And to prove that we don't do news in a vacuum, like Jason Stapleton would say, Nikki Haley won her first primary last night.
Was she unopposed?
I didn't see that yet. Where did she win a primary?
63%. She got DC, which Trump had run before.
DC?
And yeah, DC. She got.
Well,
that
makes
perfect sense.
I'm voting for Trump now.
Makes perfect sense. You win DC.
I'm voting for Trump now. I was going to vote for Nikki, but anyone that wins DC, I got to go against. So, damn it.
That makes perfect sense. DC is funding her campaign. Like, of course.
Yep, the machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ahead of Super Tuesday, which I guess is coming up this Tuesday or next
so
Tuesday.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Anyway.
Yeah. So you're saying there's a chance. There is a chance.
And I really wanted to hit on this because we hit on this. I guess it was Friday or Saturday. I can't remember when this came up on the on our chat box. But looks like Stephen Baker, an investigative writer, has been arrested over the weekend for doing journalism of all things. Yeah.
How dare he?
And I don't know that. I don't remember who put this in our thread, but
I did.
Whoever did, let's go ahead and start talking about it. Give us a little insight.
It's just a story that I read that this dude was from the Blaze, and the Blaze. I don't even listen to the Blaze at all because it's just like MSN and whatnot. But anyways, this guy was arrested for doing news about January 6th. So they went and arrested him, and it's like, why? He was like just covering the news about it.
Well, he might uncover the truth, Jason. We can't have the truth out there. What the fuck are you thinking?
I know, because that might upset the Pelosi fans.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that like even if the truth, the thing is that people are so set in their ideological ways that most of like the hardcore people, even if you showed them all the proof of everything, even if you had them saying, you had recording of top, Democrat people saying, hey, Mr. Ray, like you had like a video of like Pelosi and them talking to, Ray and all that shit and saying, hey, go ahead and put these in here. Like, all right, we're gonna get 500 officers undercover in there and they're going to start the riot and blah blah blah. Like even if you had video of that, there would still be a good section of the population that'd be like, no, Trump's still the bad, like they don't want to fucking see it.
Well, here's the humiliating deal on that whole thing is that he was actually brought into court in shackles.
Wow.
Yep.
And this is a guy that posed no threat to anybody.
Words are dangerous.
He's a thought criminal. That's a huge threat.
Yeah. Thought Criminal. What was that? What was that from? What movie?
Thought
I can't
Criminal?
remember the movie on it, but
A Thought Criminal was
yeah, Thought
from
Criminal.
1984.
Oh, the Fugitive. The Fugitive.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, one of them was Fugitive. There's another one. There's another popular movie.
Demolition Man.
Thought
1984.
Criminal was.
1984. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Dem-
Yeah, that too.
Demo-
There's a more recent one, but anyway.
Demolition Man.
So the original. Yeah, the originals. Yeah, Demolition Man. There you go.
Oh yeah,
Latest
yeah.
news journey,
Oh,
Steve
okay.
Baker for years have been searching for the truth about January 6th, 2021, believes the government had been targeting him for it. On Friday, he was charged with 4 misdemeanors. Check this out. 4 misdemeanors related to his January 6th coverage, and they led him to the courtroom in fucking shackles,
Yep.
dude. Is that not that? If that is not
They
something
perp walked him to send a
that
message.
Americans should, yeah, exactly. So what the fuck is that?
Yep.
I don't understand. I don't understand where this country is coming from and why you have to perp walk somebody to prove a point that you better not get too close to the truth, because if you get too close to the truth, we're gonna fucking jail you for it.
Well, yeah,
It's
that's the
And
thing. I mean, look what they did to Roger Stone. They swatted his house.
yeah, they fucking swatted his house. Oh my
Yeah, like I
god,
can't
I
stand his
forgot about
ass
that.
either, but Jesus Christ, like swatting is a little over the top. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well,
And I
4:30
cannot
in the fucking
stand
morning,
him. I
wasn't it?
think he
Like,
is a snake. And I still am like, nah, swatting's a little over the top.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
And believe me, if he would have got his cell phone and took his cell phone out of his fucking pocket at the same time, it probably would have fucking let him out in a blaze of glory,
right.
and said it was
Yep.
a fucking gun or something like that. So I mean,
Yeah.
dude, it's just fucking unbelievable. And like I said, me and Ken were talking about this the other night. I think we were talking about it last night. Is that the government has nothing to offer but violence? I mean, that is if the U.S. government has anything, they of a product, they have violence. That's
their
their
product.
product.
Government is force.
And,
period.
yeah,
Yep.
government is
And
force.
it's not, and I'm not going to say that it's unnecessary. You can't have no government. There's going to always be, if there's, hey, look at, if the 4 of us are sitting in a room and we decide we're the last 4 people in the world, there's going to be some kind of hierarchy of what's going on. One person's good at this, one person's
Well, I'm
good
the
at that.
oldest.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
but I'm gonna live the longest, so I should be in charge.
yeah, but I've had the most experience without being old. See what I mean? I mean, just that conversation right there. Pretty much,
Yeah.
Jason, you're fucked. Is
You
what you're
always,
saying.
yeah, you always need someone with a bigger stick.
That's right.
Well, because of my heritage, I have the biggest stick. So
Oh, fuck off.
But in it, so what it would get to is the 4 of us are on our desert island trying to restart civilization, which isn't going to work very well. But at some
Yeah.
point, two of us. At some point, two of
nature
us.
nature will find
Yeah.
a way.
At some point, 2 of us are going to have a dispute, and the only way to,
Who's spooning with me?
as you're going to have the dispute, you can say, all right, this and that, and have a discussion. But at some point, force has to be applied, because at some point, whoever's the stronger person is going to win the dispute. Period. And that's where you need government. So that's, say, Bruce, you and me are going to have a dispute, and all the 4 of us realize that the dispute, that whether I'm right or wrong, it doesn't matter, because you can just kick my ass. Well, that's when Jason and Chris can step in and say, no, his point is valid, your point's valid. We're going to talk it out, and then we'll decide as a group what we do. But no one's kicking anyone's ass, and it's because
Battle
those
Royale.
because those 2 will say, we're going to kick your ass if you touch him, and vice versa. So that's government.
Celebrity death
That's
match.
government. I mean, but my point is, that's government right there. So that's where the anarchists. That's
Yes,
where
it
the
is.
anarchists lose me, because I'm like, no, you have to have some form of. There's always going to be some form of control, because people will otherwise. If you have full freedom, I'll bring up Chris Hall again. Freedom is liberty plus morality. So
Yes, it is.
if I have perfect freedom, Chris can come up to me and say, "Man, I really like that Volvo station wagon Ken drives. That's an '08. Those are sweet cars." And he can shoot me in the face and take it,
And just
and
take
no
it.
one's going to turn on him.
Yep.
But because he's moral, he'll look at that car and go, "You're driving a Volvo. You must be an idiot," and walk away. But it's the idea of freedom. When people say freedom and democracy, those 2 things are not the same. Democracy is the oppression of the minority, and freedom is the ability to do anything you want to anyone without any consequences. What we need is liberty and our constitutional republic. So, all right, there's the end of that rant. That
Well,
being said,
you see, in 5 minutes, we've already destroyed Afghanistan and the democracy that we set within it,
yes,
because we had to infight, just the four of us.
correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Bruce Afghanistan. I like
Bruce
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Yeah. Do you know what the capital of Bruce Afghanistan is? Kabullshit. Are you kabullshitting me? Like, you can be Shanghai, which is where they took people off to be in the slave trade in Shanghai. You could be kabullshitted, where they take you off and they fill your mind with liberty. Are you kabullshitting me? Not normal.
And this is where we go.
Bruce Afghanistan. Oh, I think I need to design a flag for that so we can fly it high.
Well, I'm coming out there in June, so you'll have that flag flying high before I get there.
I'll put presidential flags each on the hood of the Lincoln. We'll drive around.
There you go. That's what I want. I need that treatment when I come. So, but I mean, I'm not the only one traveling there. So you might have to, Harskovania, had to be in there too. And,
yeah. In Switzerland.
Has Ken had his coffee this morning?
I'm working on it.
I can tell.
I'm on my number 2 here, my cup 2.
Oh, I'm on cup 4.
Oh, you're on No, I'm letting mine sit here. I let mine sit here and brew for a little bit while I'm in the car. I don't drink anything. I don't drink and drive.
You will in Wisconsin, coffee. I can tell you that. They give you
I don't drink and drive. I don't drink and drive because I'm 65 and my prostate doesn't say I can drink and drive.
Oh.
So.
See,
this is something else that you can look forward to.
No,
Chris.
Exactly.
Bruce,
prostate's the county that in Bruce Afghanistan where it's prostate county.
Bruce, you just pissed
for all the bacon.
Just pissed off all the libertarians because you said pro-state.
See, I knew I was triggered. Damn it.
Yeah. Well, pro-state is where they manufacture all the bacon. In Bruce Afghanistan. Very peaceful though. Very peaceful nation, Bruce Afghanistan, and the national flower of Bruce Afghanistan is actually the cannabis flower. So yeah, absolutely. We're all pretty awake here. So if you want to come to Bruce Afghanistan, leave your shit at the door.
Nice.
It's very nice. All right, so as we go through Monday, we dropped our first bonus episode last night, which was pretty cool. So we got that. I had to drop it twice because I had to drop a deuce last night. And,
TMI.
Drop a deuce. That's the name of the national anthem of Bruce Afghanistan, right?
Yeah.
We can always get content out of the most childish things.
Damn right. That's the way I operate.
But no, I went and I took the content that was on StreamYard that was left on StreamYard and tried to post it last night. And double checked it right before I put it on. It goes, and Chris is like, no, don't do that. So.
Yeah, not that one. Yeah, because we were talking back office stuff at the end of that after Chris left, so we had to cut that out.
Yeah, I thought about that because I was listening to just the very end. I wanted to find out where it ended and stuff, and I went like, oh, maybe I should edit that out. So I went ahead and talked to Chris about it. Chris said, no, take it off and redo it. So
yeah, but back office talk.
Exactly.
I didn't know how back office talk it was, other than the fact that you guys were praising me after I went off the air.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we just don't want people. We don't want people knowing how much we really actually like you. That'll throw off our whole game here.
Man.
So did you guys?
Well,
I got
well,
one
at
other
least
thing I wanted to say about not the reporter, but did you see what Kennedy said about that there's a stink going on right now because there was a guy that was following Kennedy. RFK is running for president, and he told a story a little bit of just he was a gay guy and he came out of it and married a woman, and it just like I said, this isn't a diatribe on gays or not gay. I don't care, but this guy was gay and then ended up marrying a woman, is happy as hell, and just everyone lived happier ever after. And he was talking to RFK about that, and RFK says, hey, thank you for support, I really appreciate it. And he said something like, congratulations on ungaying yourself. Man,
Jesus
Twitter
Christ.
is going cuckoo.
gee,
It is going crazy because he said ungaying yourself. It's
Wow.
again language, and the internet and the space that we're on right now just allows for just a shit show of bad ideas to and people that are armchair warriors with no, you're not gonna get slapped if you're on the internet. And
That's a
but
T-shirt.
it is a T-shirt. We have a T-shirt for
What's
you every show.
I
We have a
know,
T-shirt
and
every 20 minutes. Fuck.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
true.
know.
So congratulations on
we're giving
ungaying
Jason
yourself.
all. Can
And
you imagine if Trump said that?
Oh, that's all you'd hear about, exactly. Or
Trump
Biden,
would
for
say
that
it
matter.
funnier than that, though.
Yeah, Trump. Oh, I had COVID. It was the greatest. I was just tested. It was the best test that's ever been happening. I was tested positive. It was the most positive. It was tremendous.
Yeah, Trump will probably say, "Well, congratulations on not being gay anymore. I know you used to love dicks, but now you don't. You used to, but now you don't. You
Yeah,
know."
yeah.
there goes YouTube.
And there goes
Well,
YouTube.
There goes YouTube. We've yet to been to YouTube. I'm very surprised we were in it now. We've actually had some pretty good response to yeah shit and yeah and
Oh no, I
we've
just
got
dropped a
some
whole
we've
bunch of
gotten some.
shit.
Is it on the
I didn't
shingle?
know that you. Why would you carry your shit? Why would you carry your shit? So
Oh,
that's my
it's
thing. We have toilets now. You don't have to carry your shit anymore.
well because it said the sign said only flush toilet paper, so I was doing that.
Oh, gotcha.
dude, I saw a joke about that the other day. It was fucking hilarious. Oh, where did I see that? It was so funny because like I can't. Oh, god damn it, I can't remember. So I'll have to find it and send it to you guys. But there's a joke that I saw somebody do a stand-up bit about that, and it was so funny because the person was like, What am I supposed to do with all this shit? I already shit in the toilet, and then I noticed this." Oh, I'll have to find it. It was fucking hilarious.
Oh, we're so demented.
Yes.
Well, as I get into my driveway for another week of work for the man, which I get paid very well for. I want to thank you guys for coming in and spending some time with me on my daily drive to work. This is the Daily Weathered View, and we do this every morning from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. or excuse me, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m.
Pacific
on the right
Standard
coast,
Time, which is the left coast.
Pacific Standard Time. No. You just said it. Standard. We are the standard of
Yeah,
time.
but
So you've
Central
already
Standard
admitted.
Time, Eastern Standard Time, they're all
Yeah,
standard.
but Central Standard is
Oh, okay,
standard
gotcha.
twice because Central is the middle. That's standard.
Yes.
Standard is the standard, and time is Central Standard Time. So there you go.
Yeah, but Eastern time is on the right hand side of the country, which means it's the right time because it's the right time.
See,
Well, and
we need a government. We need government.
I think I should run the government because I'm the oldest
Exactly.
well,
and most wise.
That's
well,
apparently
I use
how we run the
wisdom.
governments here in America. We find the oldest person in the population and say, "Hey, you go ahead and run everything. We don't know if you're gonna be here tomorrow, but you run it."
yeah.
Because we have wisdom. Because we have wisdom.
Uh,
And
So that's
and
why.
the thing about it also, Chris, is that the old people running the country don't give a flying fuck how bad they put us into debt, because they're not going to live through it
Oh yeah.
to have the repercussions of it.
Nope. Never have to.
6 to 7 a.m. If you want to catch us live here on X, the audio will be dropping sometime at noon today, as soon as Jason is done picking up shit, and then we'll get that on
I
there.
gotta find some place to put it
I
at.
want to thank you. I have no idea where to put the shit.
on the
But
fan.
anyway, you can catch us tomorrow. I want to thank White Whoopi for being here, and Indiana Joy,
Oh yeah.
Jason McCain, and yours truly, Weathered Soul Sunday.
AKA
We're gonna see you guys tomorrow.
AKA what? Old Man Winters.
Old Man
Old
Winters.
Man
All right,
Winters.
take care, guys. Have a great day, and be good to yourself.
You too.
Peace.
Later.
Take it easy, because you're getting a little old.